Hi, Ryan Michael Galloway. I'm with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com. I'm talking to Ked of Ked Records, and that's you can find him at kedrecords.com, and also search for him out at Mixposure, MIXPOSURE.com. And he just goes by Ked, like Elvis. I don't know of any other Ked, so that's probably a good idea. Well, last night we were talking about niche marketing and going after, any niche, whatever it is. And one of the things, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. One was, I think when I compare what you've done, what I've done, is you did it longer. You were willing to stay after it longer and not give up. 12, 13 years at this, with sometimes limited success, sometimes great success, is a lot better than mine, where I just maybe hit my head against the wall for about 2.5 years. I didn't do it particularly elegantly, and I didn't stay at it. And I've seen that in several times of my career and several times of other people's career, where basically they stopped, and that was one huge portion of their success quotient not kicking in. And I see that in you, that you're relentless. Would you see that do you agree with that assessment? I guess is the first thing.
Absolutely. I am a relentless big white polar bear that just does not give up. When I'm on something and I believe it's going to work, I will go to the ends of things just to assure myself that it won't work. And by then, there's always little successes along the way.
Something happens that gets you turned on and keeps you going. Okay, well, another thing we talked about last night was how this is hard. It's simple, but it's difficult, and I think the difficulty is staying at it even when you're discouraged. But when you mentioned that, it also brought something to mind. We were talking about like songs that get picked up for small and larger ad campaigns, or maybe internal promotion things that they do for sales meetings, or you could tie in, as an example, we didn't talk about this, but you could tie in and you could write stuff around. Mary Kay Cosmetics, as an example, does a number of 20,000 person gatherings around the country all year long for their sales associates, for the people that are partners in their business. And I know people just gone out and played music for those and made plenty of money. But if you actually had a subject-oriented CD to sell to get these people to continue to be motivated after it, you could sell those too. But getting back to, it's simple but it's hard. When you're up against an awful lot of commercial product that is produced, people can pick up really big songs from much more important and well-known artists than we are to be soundtracks for their videos and their ads and their jingles and that kind of thing. Are you up against much in that, or are we so much less expensive than the big boys that they're willing to buy our music? What have you found on that?
Well, it's where you go and bang your head.
Okay.
That's the thing, I don't take no for an answer, so it's difficult to translate that. If that door won't open,
you gotta slam it.
And you got a side door. You got a side door that I'm going to go and start banging on. And you got a back door, and you've got a roof, and you've got, it's the relentless thing. You've almost got to tick them off before they pay attention. But again, it comes back to establishing a need.
Well, and that sounds like
everywhere you look, Ryan, and you know this as a musician, and you know this as a visual consumer. Wherever you see something, you hear something.
Right, true.
Okay? So this whole big, beautiful world of whatever it is right at this very moment, is what we live for, is full of music. Okay? And music is the true currency of our lives. No and ifs or buts about it, because it's the thing we spend the most time in our lives on besides sleeping, is music, because it's always a part of our lives, no matter what. So, it's great and fine to be heard on the radio, but if you make 50 or 60 grand because they've agreed with you to give you $1 a copy, and these are promo items that are going up to 50,000 customers, and your music's on there already, and you're making $1 off of that,
then who cares?
Don't need no stinking record company.
That's right. Man, I'm so down with this. Okay, so there are a couple dimensions about what you just talked about. I want to probe just a second.
Sure.
Talk about side doors. Let's take that out of the abstract and make it a little bit more real. For instance, you're trying to approach an ad agency, or you're trying to approach an organization like the NHRA, or you're trying to approach some
Well,
entity.
I like the ad agency. Let's go off on a tangent here for a second and
Okay.
pick something totally, auspicious and nothing that neither of us have been involved in. And I will explain to you the side door.
So I talked to one person who may be the most obvious one to talk to. Maybe it's a vice president of marketing, or their talent acquisition, or the person who's looking for this kind of stuff. Or I run into somebody at a cocktail party, or at an event
Sure,
they're sponsoring,
sure.
or whatever, and I talk to them.
Any one of those. Any one of those.
And
then
they say no. What's a side
Okay.
door? And I think I know your answer, but what's a side door?
how many people work under those people?
Yeah. And by the way, just because the boss said no, does it mean that possibly somebody under them won't come back
The
and
boss
say,
is
"But
many-
I really do like this. Let me sell you on it." Does that ever
But
happen?
that boss is not there to be sold by you.
By me.
No, he is there to be sold by his minions.
That's my point. Yeah.
His
Okay.
minions have got to deliver to him, and that's all there is to it. That's the way the hierarchy of minionhood, for lack of a better term, works. So you
So-
find out some of the lower bit players that are looking, that are hungry,
That are hungry, yeah.
that want a good idea, and if you can get with them and get their idea in this ad agency, and you can say to them, look, here's a piece of music, build an idea off of this, and all of a sudden you see the light go on, or you see the light not go on. It's the ones that you talk to that the light goes on, that they're willing to sell your product.
One of my publishers, music publishers, used to say, his name's Lanny Lambert, and he used to be one of the executives at Columbia Screen Gems where I worked. And one of his things is he said, you just got to find a fan. And especially in business where you're
One
dealing
fan. One fan,
one
that's
fan.
all you need.
Yeah, in the right place, and you've got it. And by that meaning in the business. And of course you want a whole lot of the fans that are, a whole lot of the fans that are actually buying stuff. But in terms of promoting you into a situation like this, you only really need one who's really good at selling it up into his
But
organization.
they've got to be in the right place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just because this guy said no and this guy said no and this guy said, there was no idea behind it. It was just, here's a piece of music. If they're a visual arts company, they will buy this music on stock. And this is where I want to get into a little point with you.
I want to get on. I want to do that on the next segment. Okay, we'll close off.
Okay.
And we'll go right into it, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ryan Michael Galloway with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com. I'm having a great conversation with Ked of Ked Records. It's getting exciting for me. I hope he's having as much fun as I am. But anyway, stick with us. We're coming back. Thanks.